Start with co-ed cheer. Second in the nation. And then we just go like that. And I'm not doing that. I'm not
Get out. You're a grown man, pay taxes.
You want a nay? You want to do the actual nay?
Nay.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Main Event Talk Show. I'm your host, Zach Poat.
I'm your co-host, Marshall Reed.
And I'm your co-host, Jett Palmer.
And this is a weekly sports talk show covering all of Mustang sports. And so today we're going to start with co-ed cheer, who went to nationals over the weekend in Orlando and placed second in the nation. So congrats to them on a great performance. You know, six-time national champions, that's an impressive feat. Of course, we like to recognize all of the seniors on the co-ed team. Owen King, Justin Gilman, Jay Sprayboy, Drew Farley, Eli Mitchell, Avery Childers, Miranda Thomas, Izzy Jeffords, Madeline Edwards, Emily Height, Bradley McKenzie, Caitlin Banks, and Ainsley Hack. Just a wonderful year in and out, our best sport by far, accolades and stuff, national champions, something.
Six-time national and six-time state champions.
It's really impressive because, dominance year in and year out, changing what they do, and it's keeping up with the format, keeping up with the trends and everything about how they do their stuff. It's really impressive, and I think, congrats to them. Very great showing in Orlando.
The Mustangs dance team is going to be at the UDA Nationals the 14th through the 16th.
Mm-hmm. So they're going right now, actually, right? They're leaving right now?
Yes.
And so,
I'm filming it. They're going to be going.
Yeah. And so we, wish them luck on their adventure into Orlando as well. And so, with winter sports wrapping up, spring sports will be starting soon. And so we have Jett Palmer today with us to talk a little bit more about track, for example.
So track season is actually starting up right now. We're starting up with practices, and I think our first indoor race is 2 weeks from now, maybe. But it's going to be, we're looking to repeat for regionals.
So, just to kind of get all of our listeners and watchers, what do you guys do for track? What does it all involve in track?
Running. There's a lot more than just running though, long jump.
It's like track and field, so it's kind of how I like to think about it is is it like the Olympics where you have your 100 meters and you're and all the field events where you have do you have javelin throw and stuff like that?
No, we don't have that.
So it's what's your kind of individual
So what
sport?
I do is long distance. So I do 2 mile, which is 8 laps around the track, the mile, which is 4, and the 800, which is 2, and that's pretty much all I do. I don't do any field events. But since it's my senior year, I might try something out.
Yeah. And so you said 3-time regional champions?
Yeah.
Three-peat?
So
Three-peat?
past 2 years.
Didn't go well this year for somebody trying to three-peat.
Past 2 years have been really, really good for us. It's had a really strong team. I think we actually placed 4th in the state, if I'm not. I think we placed 4th in the state overall last year, but it's going to be tough this year. But
yeah,
we're looking forward to it.
Just keeping up, dominance in the region and go to state and try something. And so, speaking of regionals, dominant in regionals, the bowling team, the boys bowling team were champions of the region. I think it was maybe last week or 2 weeks ago, and the girls are runner-ups. And so they will head to state later this month in February to go for the state title. And so, congratulations to them as well. Just region champions, state champions, national champions. That's all we do. We win, and so that's great. And while wrestling season's wrapping up, and they go for I think. I think they go to state. Isn't it state later this month or something like that? I believe
have no
so.
idea, but we do have quite a
I've
few
checked
seniors.
recently. I was kind of keep up track with them, and I believe that they go to state later this month. They might have. Okay, so wrestling will have regionals February 22nd at Tillman, and then state will be that following week. And so, just for all of our wrestlers, the seniors on that team, we'd like to recognize Dominique Bryant, James Berrigan, Cam Freiberg, Lakeland Jansen, Nash Smallwood, and Cade Turner for wonderful performances. And I think Cam Freiberg, give me one moment.
Yeah,
I can't read that. Is
Yeah,
that
Cam.
100 wins?
I think so.
100 wins?
I think so.
Congratulations
Congrats.
to the man. So we'd like to recognize them, and wish them luck in their future endeavors, regionals and state later this month. And so as it gets closer, we'll cover them, and we'll get more information about that when we get closer to the time. And then, the talk of sports right now around the school, basketball. And so we have the Lady Mustangs girls basketball.
Who is behind us practicing
Yes,
currently.
behind us practicing right now. 5-11 on the season, 4-1 in district. Your district champions, district regular season champions for District 2, and 7-5 in the region. Those are their records. And some notable games I like to highlight here. A 21-point win at Mayfield. A dominant win versus St. Mary's.
Definitely.
Dominant win at St. Mary's, 61-29 recently, and then also at Tillman, 59-45 win for us.
Away, too.
I know, it's at Tillman as well. It's very impressive, Early on in the season, in January, it was unfortunate because it was the first time we had lost to Tillman girls in any contest in I think it was 10 years. 10 years, a long time. 34-52 defeat. And so that was I think that was a lot of the wake-up call since then of hey, we got to step it up a little bit, because you kind of look at the district going through, and a key win there was Tillman last week.
And I believe Coach Sybil's kind of had the standard when it comes to his basketball team, because they've been dominant the past few years, definitely, in this district and region. 91-14 win at home versus CCA. That's the kind of Mustang team I remember.
That's one of those, those. I'm not gonna say gimme because you don't want to put down anybody else, but it's one of those. It's a great win every year, and so one of those things is 4-1 in the district. Districts this year are at St. Mary's, and so I believe that will be the 24th of February is when we will play CCA for the first round, and so it's one of those things where it's. You don't want to write CCA off as a team that you're guaranteed to beat. I think they're 2-20. It's not impressive, but it's one of those things where it's a good game to really see and just kind of get settled into the moment of playing in district tournament and just kind of settling in. St. Mary's or Tillman, it could be either one. We play in the championship. But I think whoever we play, St. Mary's, Tillman, we have a great shot in Ogona region. And I think one of the things that I've noticed throughout the season is that we've struggled against opponents from our region that haven't been in our district. And so we're 4-1 against our district teams, but we are 2-4 against others in Region 1. And so I think it's one of those things where it's we have 2 losses to Marshall. We have a loss to Graves. We play them very, very soon. And so it's one of those things where it's games like these against Graves and Marshall and your heavy hitting teams in the region. It's one of those things where it's a great game to figure out how we fare within the region. And so, I think that we have a chance at districts, and I think we have a great chance at districts, and I think we have a chance at regionals if we kind of, I wouldn't say lock in, but, just kind of a gritty performance in and out and everybody clicking. It's a young team. It's Scott Sybil's teams in the past few years, especially led by dominant seniors, some of the grades that we've had come through this program. And so you just look at this team, and it's a very young team, and sometimes you have people with good games, and sometimes you have people with
the leading scorer is a freshman, correct?
Yes, leading scorer for the team, Ava Hughes, a freshman, scoring 16 a game. And so I'm not saying that is bad. It's just one of those things where you just like to have a older, more experienced team. And so with a freshman leading the team in scoring, it's one of those things where it's just it's great that we're doing well, but it's kind of a rebuilding year in a way. Anything that we do that is well, it's a great sign for the future and the current, because we could win the districts. I think that we have great shot. shot just because of how we fared recently against those teams.
It's not bad either. Being number 1 seed in the district tournament in a rebuild year, I'll take that every year, every time.
And then when they get a little bit more experience, a little better, I like that we're going to have a pretty good team in 2 years that we won't get to see, but some of us will be able to see. And so I just want to ask a little bit about kind of what are we thinking about kind of how we fare within the region against some of those teams.
Well,
and yeah.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't.
No, you're good.
Well, I think we need to really focus on our strengths. Like we have a 16 points a game scorer in a freshman, Ava Hughes, who honestly I think could be one of those players that leaves an effect here, such as Claire Johnson, who is playing Division I ball at Sanford. She was one of the best scorers I've ever seen on the court here, I'm going to be honest with you. But I think she can really flourish in one of those. So I think we need to focus on our strengths here and really play our kind of ball.
And I think one of those things is that what we look towards is like shot making. And so just a shout out to Skater Hauser in the last few games, on fire with the 3-point shot. And so it's one of those things where, just keeping going and making shots and just kind of executing when we need to and hitting those open shots is a great way to continue winning. But one of those things is that I fear that will come down is close games. And so an important thing in close games are free throws. And so in the game on February 6th against Hopkins County Central, I made a note during the game. We had 4 free throws to shoot because the team was fouling us because we were up and they wanted the ball back to shoot. And so it was Brooklyn Preston and Ava Hughes as the free throw shooters, and 0 for 4 on crucial free throws in the fourth quarter with less than a minute to play. It's one of those things where you could be up 6 points, but you're only up 2 points with 25 seconds left. And so it's one of those things where those kind of situations against great teams like Marshall and Graves in the region tournament could come back to bite you. And it just would be an unfortunate setting to put yourself in that position and lose in that way.
One point in that tournament we got here is a lot of players on the team are what I like to call volume shooters. They shoot the ball a lot, and it makes them make a lot, I'm not putting them down in any way, but what I'm saying is if St. Mary's is a very small gym and that noise carries and people can get in their head easily, so if they're volume shooters in there and they're not in the right mindset, maybe taking too many shots isn't the right play there.
Play more team ball.
Yeah.
Team ball, pass the ball.
Selfish.
Because it's a district tournament, St. Mary's gym is quite small, noise carries. And so one of the things that you notice is that, especially at a district tournament setting where people are going to be very loud and excited and
section,
cheering,
right behind
you just don't want that noise to interrupt the style of play that you kind of go with and the communication that you have. And so that's one of the things you got to look out for. But I think just one of the keys that we can look forward to is continued making those shots, executing late in free throw situations and close game situations, and just kind of putting the ball in the hoop like they have been recently on a stretch. I just fear that one of the things I've noticed so much about scoring for girls games is that there's not a consistent trend. And so that way, a lot of the things you could score 61 against a team and beat them by 40, or you could score 40 and lose by 20. And so it's one of those things where you just got to risk management and just play good defense, play hard and try to stay consistent a little bit just to keep that going. And so moving on to the boys, Mustang boys basketball, they are 14-11 overall, 3-2 in the district, and 7-5 in the region. So notable games, I like to point out a 49-70 loss to Marshall County, a 53-64 loss at Marshall County, and 2 losses to St. Mary and Paducah Tillman by nearly 20 recently. And so it's just one of those things where you just got to look out for that. And then a loss to Graves early on in the season in January. Just some notable things to look out for. But one of the things I want to mention, a big game this season that I hope we can continue to repeat next week is a 67-63 win against Callaway County here at home for homecoming night 2 weeks ago, or 2 or 3 weeks ago. Marshall County almost undefeated, and that's so lost.
Lost to Callaway.
And so that's one of those things is a team like that. I think the boys have a lot going for them, especially in that situation.
Which isn't a bad loss at all. Callaway's a great team this year.
Callaway, great team. District 4 is a monster district, especially with
second in this district, I think, behind Marshall.
Second in the district, second in the region as well. So it's a great district. But the Mustang boys, just some things to look for. St. Mary are your District 2 regular season champions, and so they also host this year. And so one of the things you want to look out for is when we played at St. Mary against St. Mary, St. Mary was very loud. They were excited, and it was very loud in there, and you kind of disrupted the team. And so just some kind of stats I want to look at here. So at home, when we played them here, Strawberry Hills Pharmacy Arena, they shot 38% from the field. And so it's one of those things where, we had a 52-39 win. It's characteristic for us to beat them. We haven't lost to them in 10 years until a few weeks ago. And so when we played them at St. Mary, it was loud. It almost felt like a district championship because every game for them against us means so much more. And that's not a knock to them. That's a plus for our program. But against us, when we played them on the road, they shot 65% from the field. And you'll never win a game letting another team score at a high rate like that, and especially a shooting well at that rate. And so, I think it's just one of those things where it wasn't a lucky night or a defensive collapse because, we had, I'm not sure on his name, but I think his name was Luke Sims. I have to double check that. But for St. Mary's, he shot, I think it was nearly perfect. I think it was maybe 18 or 19 points off of 75%, something like that shooting. And so it's one of those things where if you want to continue playing at a high level and winning games against teams like St. Mary, who this year are pretty great in the region and have a chance to fare well later into the region tournament, you just want to keep that down. So yeah, Luke Sims, 19 points on 75% shooting. And so the whole team shot 65%. Just going down the line, 80% field goal from Ashton Spur. You'll never win a ball game playing like that. Letting the team shoot 65% against you. And so, going to this district tournament, do you think the fellas can get it done at St. Mary?
If we change some things up, yes. I mean, it's hard to say yes. It's hard to say no with that. Especially because we have 0 away wins in the district, nearly them all being double-digit losses, and that's such a small gym too at St. Mary's. I can't see if we keep playing how we've been playing. Honestly, I do think we'll have an early trip home, but I believe in this team. I think we're going to go far in it, but I do think the team needs to just make a few changes and a few tweaks, and we can really make a difference in that tournament.
And to step it up defensively,
definitely,
and those bigger games kind of haven't really showed out as much.
Yeah. I think one of the notes that I have is you look back at the games against Tillman or against Callaway or Marshall at home. And so those are the games that everybody comes for. Everybody shows up, the student sections there are lively. And one of the things that I look at is Marshall County, they came to our house and shot we shot 36% at home against them and lost by 21. And so that's like the one game that I look at that we lost that was a big game. But I think that one of the things that we need to look for is like against Tillman at home, we played really well. And we also kind of, dominated that game and beat them by a lot. And same for St. Mary when they came to us. But going on the road to Tillman, going on the road to St. Mary, losing by nearly 20 as we did. Now in the Tillman game, Carter Hawes goes down with a scary injury. You can't really say much about that.
Because they went on a 28-3 run after that.
Yes.
After that injury.
28-3 run. They were up 10 at some point during the second quarter, and then 28-3 run. In between that, Carter Hawes got injured. And so it's one of those things where you can't really put that all on the mindset of the team, but just not allowing that to happen anyways because it was already happening before that happened. And so, just want to look at this also. One of the things that I've noticed throughout the season, if you look at the statistics, is a big note is that our team is 1-9 when we score or we allow the other team to score more than 60 points. And so the only win we have is playing Callaway County at home. And so one of the things that we look for that is in the fourth quarter against Callaway County, in the fourth quarter we went 8 for 8 from the field and scored nearly, I think it was 20 points. And so, you're never going to get that every game, that fourth quarter where you don't miss to beat a team like that. But if we can hold the team to under 60 points, team average for us is about 55. If we hold a team under 50 or 60 points, I feel like we can win any game. But it's just like keeping those volatile scores from Marshall County, Callaway, those guys, just keeping them under the 55-point threshold that we score at, that'll be good. But, district tournament, but we still have to go through Tillman. That we'll be playing Tillman. I believe February 24th is my guess on when the district tournament will be played. We'll play them in the first round, and the winner will play St. Mary, probably, in the championship. But I think it's one of those things where we cannot get complacent against a team like Tillman. You just don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
But, we struggled on the road all season. 5-1 home record, and that might be different now. But 6-9 away record. Just one of those the disparities of home and away records and stuff like that. And so just to wrap it up a little bit, just a few questions for you fellas. With the region landscape as it is, and all the teams like Marshall, Callaway, potentially Graves could be a problem, St. Mary's in our district, can the Mustangs compete with the best and go for it all?
To be honest, I can't be too sure about that, just with the away games. But, it's happened in the past. We haven't been good in the regular season and showed out in the playoffs.
And so, I just wanted to ask, what do you think is a key player that is crucial to their success later on?
There's a few young players, a few players that, if they play their full potential, can really make a difference in this game, or any game really. Jay Martin, great player, can really be a difference maker on that team. One thing I want to note is the home team advantage that some of these teams have on this sheet here. So I'm seeing this sheet here, unless my eyes deceive me, every home game was a win on this sheet right here. And honestly, it can't get much easier when you're playing at home with the big student section. No matter the team, it's always going to give you a boost. Mm-hmm. But especially at St. Mary's with that small crowd, and I'll give it to them. They have a great student section. They get up, they get loud.
The problem is that we do not do that often.
We don't do that.
We don't do that often. Nobody really shows up.
Go to the big games, but none of the.
And they aren't very loud at the big games, and so it doesn't really help that much.
They leave halfway through.
Even in regionals, Murray State, if we get to go to regionals, I'm not guaranteeing that we go and do well in districts, because I don't want to put that on them, that burden of you guys should do well. But I just want to say, I'm just looking at I look at a guy like Dylan Jackson. So when he's hitting his threes, when he's going 5 for 5 and doing that kind of stuff, that's great. And also a gritty player like Garrett Miller, getting him involved and working and playing defense well, that's one of those things. But I just think the keys to the game for them are executing on defense, because sometimes I just see a little bit of defense that's lacking intensity. And also, just hitting your open shots and making those that you get that the team allows you to take. And so that's kind of the one things I look forward to. But with a game against Graves County soon, doubleheader, be there, be loud, show up for the game. And that's all for us. That's the main event. I'm your host, Zach Poat.
I'm your co-host, Marshall Reed.
And I'm your co-host, Jett Palmer.
And we'll see you next week.